the thing I think that you touched on there was about running into speed bumps. How many people were in the pursuit of estimating software? I mean, obviously you've come to this change conference, so how many of you guys are actually in the pursuit of doing it? Okay, so the thing I would tell you is that it is not going to be all lollipops and rainbows, or lollipops and unicorns, or I've heard that expression 15 different ways. It's not exactly the easiest thing to go through, but if you nail down the plan and you really systematically go through and how you're going to build out your new platform. Once you've selected the tool that you're going to go with, you've found a vendor that's going to work with you, systematically going through and executing how you're going to rebuild that database, or if you're going to try and convert it all. I think that at the very earliest stages, you have to really understand how good the data is that you have and whether or not it's worth keeping. We had parts of ours that were great, and we have parts of ours that were okay. Certainly could have used improvement. So we really looked at it as an opportunity to go through and rebuild our entire system from the ground up. And in our case, because we had someone that could dedicate full time to that, or almost full time, we were able to do that at what we felt was an appropriate pace, if you will. So as we're going through and rebuilding those things, there was markers that we had to hit for milestones. We have to get this done so that we can nail this down. We have to get this marker done. Now we got this milestone accomplished. Those were all bits and pieces that we could consume with a relatively small implementation team. We're talking less than 5 people. And so for us, we wanted to be able to keep pace and ultimately have something that 6 months or a year from when we started, we will be ready to start implementing with the team that was going to be using on a day-to-day basis. Along that process comes hurdles, things that we didn't foresee, things that weren't a part of our original development plan. And I think the point that I'm trying to make around that is as you run into those kind of speed bumps, you have to really keep focused on the vision and the goals that you've set up. I know some of this seems very obvious, but when you've got a team and you're trying to keep them all motivated to help build out line items and review assemblies and review reports and all those different things that you wanted to create in early on and the things that you're going to need just to flip the switch and start doing estimates in that new platform, those MVP, minimal viable product type items are critical to get right. I can't imagine if we had flipped the switch and had a hiccup with 20 some odd estimators and all of a sudden we had made that mistake all at once. Not a mistake, but just not having had it fully ready to go. And so we took our time to go through and test every aspect of our new system to make sure that it absolutely worked. We lined it up against a previous project, did pilot projects to make sure, does this line item line out to this line item? So literally line by line, assembly by assembly. And we didn't expect it to be perfectly down to the penny alignment, but we expected it to be relatively close. And so we're in that phase now, and I think Ray's kind of in a similar phase there of going through and seeing, does it really work? What's not 100%? Because before we go totally live, we want to have it really nailed down. And so taking the time to understand that there's going to be some speed bumps in there and how you're going to react to those and keep the team motivated, keep their hearts and minds bought into the process is something that is absolutely critical to that project or to that process. And so for us, I think that's what's enabled us to be successful. And I will also say to the Beck team's credit, their integrity was shown to us every time we worked with them and we ran into any kind of a speed bump like that because they would help us stay focused on what is the task at hand, how do we get from A to B. And so for us, that was a really helpful incentive, I guess, or benefit of our relationship was that they understood what we were going through, they were seeing it with other folks, and were able to kind of help guide us down that path. So, kind of a free click to these guys, but for us, that was extremely helpful in just making our way through that entire process.